Hello everyone, Dave here. Today we're going to be taking a look at DECO. This is from Architect LL, and this is actually published on the Game Crafter. And this is a tile laying game for 2 to 4 players, and players are going to be drafting tiles that have special actions on them. They're going to be placing them out here to try to create patterns that are on these goal cards in order to score points. And so I'm going to show you how this game is played. We're going to play a few turns, maybe score a card so you can see how that works. We'll talk about the actions. And then also the neat thing is there is variations in this game that brings it down to a solo game all the way up to something that you can play with 8 players. So anyways, at the beginning of the game, each player is going to select 2 goal cards, and we're going to take them from these stacks of cards over here that are divided up and shuffled. We have some that are worth 1 point. These are the real simple ones. We have some that are 3, some that are 7, and we have the most complex ones that are at 15. So we have these tiles that they're going to have different shapes and colors on there, and they have special actions on the back, and so when we take them, we're going to be able to perform a special action, whether it's before or after we place the tiles. And so these purple ones are going to allow us to draw and place an extra tile. So this will be after we place a tile, we'll be able to put another one down. However, we will not be able to get the special action of the second tile that we place. The green ones are going to allow us to rotate any tile that's already in play. And these red ones, these are really cool. Normally tile placement is going to be placed edge to edge. This will allow us to place corner to corner if you want to, or edge to edge, or if a tile is completely surrounded on all 4 sides, to be able to take that tile out and place it somewhere else on the board. Or you could actually pick it up and place it back down and rotating it if there's not a rotate action, or maybe you pull it out and the card that you draw, you get lucky, useful, and you can place it in that spot to complete a pattern. So anyways, let me just show you how this is going to work. So going to have the player on the left is going to be the start player, and we look at their patterns that we have. We're looking for this particular shape and these right here. And so I think usually a good opening move is to try to get a couple tiles on the board. So we're going to choose a tile that will allow us to have an extra. And so we're going to rotate this, and we can place it anywhere on the board. So looking at the particular patterns that we have a tile that's useful here. Now, the one thing to note about this is if you see this has a half of a shape that's on there, and if we look at this particular card, this is only 1/4 of the tile where this is gray. That means it needs to be another color that's on there, so only for this to be able to score. So this half tile one we can't use for the yellow on here. However, we could start this off by placing this here and using it for a space here or here. Now this is open information to all players. They see what's going on, so there could be some interaction to try to manipulate tiles to prevent scoring. And we'll go ahead and draw another tile right here, and hoping that maybe we can do something with it. We draw this one, we got lucky, and we'll place this right above it. So the white player is like, well, they are finding some things that are very, very useful right from the get-go. And this tile is going to be really useful for them if they're able to rotate things. So right now they're going to let this ride. They're going to want to try and get some tiles out on the board, hopefully some more white ones, and later on they can use some rotate actions to get things into play. So they're going to go ahead and choose a purple tile also that's going to allow them to place an extra one. So we're going to look at it and go, they're like, wow, this is really, really useful for them. They're going to go ahead and place this here, like so. And they're going to draw another one, and they're like, this is really useful. And they're going to place this, just like that. Now the blue player, now we're back to the first player here, and they're looking going, wow. They already have a majority of their pieces right here. I don't want to let them get this piece in here, so I'm going to really be hoping that we can draw one of these. We're going to go for taking one that's going to allow us to draw an extra tile, and we flip it over, and we're going to be able to place this right there, and we've completed this goal right here. And then we'll go ahead and we'll place our second action, and we're going to look and see still, something like this is useful here. Maybe we'll draw one of these, and we'll just place this off to this. We'll place this down here for right now. But we did place this one with this, this, and this, so we've scored a point, and we'll be able to draw another. We'll be able to draw one right away. And let's see here. Which one do we want? Not really like a lot of blue on there, but I think we're just going to stay with the simple one for right now. So back to this player over here. So they're in the lead. They've got 1 point so far. Now the other thing that is on a player's turn is if they don't like any of their goal cards, they can choose not to draw a tile, and they can discard their either one or both of their goal cards and draw new ones. But that would be the end of their turn. Even if they were to draw a new goal, that would be they would be able to score right away. And the other thing is, if we score a tile and we draw another one, if we have the opportunity to be able to score it right away, we could, and you can keep doing that. So there is a possibility that sometimes later in the game you could score a lot of points just off of what's out there, just by luck. So looking at the board, and we're looking at the scoring that's out here, this tile it kind of blocked off being able to complete that pattern, but all hope is not lost, because later on we might be able to move things out of there. So let's see if there's anything that we can do to potentially score this particular pattern. In the meantime, we're going to choose one, maybe allow us to go corner to corner and work on trying to score something else. So we see this one here, and so maybe we'll go ahead and we'll place this like this. Maybe, I don't know, let's see here. We can flip it around and look at it like that too. We could go like this, and maybe we'll get lucky and be able to see how we have this right here. This is there, and we can maybe rotate that one, and maybe rotate this one, and we'll be able to score some points. So back to this player over here, and they're looking to see what's going on, and they see this too, and there's really not much that they can do with that one except for try to rotate it, but that's not gonna still not going to give them the points that they need. So continuing to look at what their scoring options are, and they're looking at things that are in diagonal, other points that are out there. They're not seeing anything that they're liking, so we're going to try to just maybe get more tiles on the board. So we're going to draw one here. This is wow, something where they would like to be able to score a lot of points. This is really kind of yuck though. So we'll just place this down here. It's not going to help them. And the second tile they're going to draw, we'll draw this one. And let's see if this is going to give them any sort of reprieve. No, not here. And we're looking to see if there's anything that's out here on this player, and there's really nothing that's going to help them right here. Back over to this player, and they're looking to see what's going on, and they're just going to choose to rotate, and they're going to rotate this just like that to be able to, and they're most of the way there. They'd have to rotate this particular tile yet on another turn, and they're going to go ahead and place this down here, like this. Back to this player, they see that this tile here, they're going to end up rotating it, scoring points. They're not going to try to go after it too much, because that is just wasting time. They have to go after their own things, trying to see if there's any particular tiles that are going to be able to help them. At this point, they're still going to stay. They're going to still stay tight with what they have. So we have a blue here that we can probably rotate. This we're going to hope just maybe get a blue tile there. So let's try to rotate tile here and go this way. And we're going to place this over here like this. Maybe there's going to be something else that will come out later on. Back to this player over here. They're going to choose a rotate, and they're going to rotate this, and they're going to score points this way. So you can see with this pattern right here, this, and this scores them 3 points. And we're going to place this one out here, and again we're going to place this like this. Maybe we can find a big blue square will show up. We'll choose one of the. We'll choose this one here. Maybe later on we can discard it. And back to this player right here, and we're looking at what we have in terms of points right here. We've got, if we look at this, even, flip this way or this way, we're going to try to, again, add another tile. And we're going to go ahead and be able to score this one right here for a point. And let's see if there's anything else here that we can potentially score. We have, this goes like this, this and this. So the extra tile that we're going to place, because we placed this one, we're just going to draw one of these, and we will pop this in. Let's see here. Where do we want to place this at? Wow, this is actually kind of interesting. We'll place this up here like this. So they're going to score a point, and we're going to choose this one over here. And so play is going to continue like this, racing to be able to get up to 14 points. So I believe it's 14, or is it 16? You could probably adjust the score however you want. Oh, 16 points. So you're going to be able to do this by continuing to place tiles on the board, manipulating actions, and trying to create these patterns. So just wanted you to get an idea of how the game is played. So let's share my thoughts. All right, so let's share my thoughts on DECO. And this is it's an interesting tile laying game, because you have all of these special actions that you can take on the backs of the tiles. It's going to help you to manipulate these. However, when you're playing this game multiplayer, depending upon the types of players you can play against, it can be really cutthroat, where people are going to be using the actions to be able to manipulate things to prevent the other player from scoring. And so the game could actually go on a little bit longer than you might like, because of the counter productivity being taken by these tiles in order to prevent your opponent from scoring. And so it's just going to become a little more difficult for you. I mean, you're trying to do your own thing, but you're also spending a lot of energy trying to focus against your opponents. But that's kind of what makes this game interesting in and of itself, because it's these special actions that make this game kind of stand out amongst other tile laying games. I mean, there's all sorts of abstract pattern making games that are out there. This is kind of reminiscent of things like Reef, and you have patterns like, if you're playing, anything that's, you've seen games like Azul and stuff like that, where you're trying to create different patterns. This is along the same lines. However, this is using tiles, and then you're trying to manipulate them to fill in these different shapes. And then, of course, you have the varying degree of difficulty and how long you're going to be able to get points. Now, these 15 pointers, these are really, really, really hard to come by. And sometimes you may end up just taking these and then passing on your turn to cycle through something. Hopefully, you get lucky with what's out there. Now, the interesting thing is that in this game, there are a number of variations of how to play the game. So you can do this. You can have shared patterns. You do have a solo mode that's in here, and you have different ways where you can play partners, or you can play cooperatives. So literally in this one box, and it's not even a very big box, you have lots of different ways to play this game. So you get quite a bit of bang for your buck, because you have different things that you can do. One of the variations is to take 2 pattern cards. You place all of these tiles face up. You take 2 pattern cards and you look at them for 30 seconds and you try and memorize them. You're going to try to create one without creating the other one. So if you're just trying to work on memory skills, you can use a game like this, and then you just have to realize that with the tiles that you're trying to put together that you don't accidentally create the one. You want to create the one but not create the other. So that's kind of an interesting way to play. So overall, I kind of found this interesting. I haven't had a chance to play it with teams yet, but I think that this game is pretty cool. And you know something, for the game crafter, they really have upped their production quality. And so these are really, really nice tiles. And it's got a glossy finish to them. And then, with these, they're laser cut. So the one thing that I ended up doing, and I would recommend this, is you just take a paper towel and you rub along each of the edges, and it will clean off all the soot. Otherwise, I'd have marks all over the table. And when you first start to play, they have a little bit of kind of a burnt wood smell, like firewood, and that's just from the laser etching process. But anyways, that goes away over time. So I would say that too. The card quality is really, really nice. It's got they're nice and thick. They got a nice glossy finish to them as well. And it's just a very, very simple game to be able to play using those actions. So if you're looking for an abstract game that has a lot of variability, I would definitely check out DECO. When I was approached by the designer to check this one out, I looked at it and I'm like, well, that's actually one that I am interested in. I like tile laying games. I thought this one would be pretty cool. So anyways, this is DECO. I'll have a link in the video description below that will take you to the game entry if you're interested in getting your own copy. All right, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.